On Thursday, March 12th, amidst a massive sell-off in both traditional and crypto markets, MakerDAO went from running a $500,000 surplus to having its system under-collateralized by nearly $4 million in the span of a few hours. The confluence of events that led to this are fascinating, and this video explains how one of DeFi's most popular protocols went from running smoothly to what just happened overnight, leaving the DAO searching for answers to address the crisis. But first, a quick primer on how Maker works. The protocol allows any user with an Ethereum wallet to take out a loan by staking Ether as collateral. Let's use an example to visualize this. For the sake of simplicity, we'll assume that Ether is trading at $150. Larry has 1 Ether and wants to take out a loan. He posts his Ether into a Maker vault as collateral. Maker then mints 100 DAI, which is a stablecoin pegged 1-to-1 with the US dollar, and lends that to Larry. To ensure that the Maker system as a whole is covered, users are required to maintain a margin of at least 150% over-collateralization relative to the amount of DAI that they have generated. And from here, one of 3 things can happen. The first is pretty straightforward. Larry repays his loan. He sends DAI back to Maker, who closes out his position and returns Larry's collateral. Alternatively, the price of Ether, in terms of USD, goes up. This means that the collateral in Larry's vault is now worth more. Instead of being 150% over-collateralized, he is now 170%. He can either use his newfound wealth to repay some of his loan or mint and borrow more DAI. And finally, the price of Ether could go down, which means that the collateral he has in his vault is now worth less. Larry is under-collateralized. In this case, he needs to add more Ether to his vault to meet the minimum collateralization ratio. If Larry fails to do so, his vault could be liquidated, which we'll cover in more detail in just a sec. Under normal circumstances, the system reaches a beautiful equilibrium. However, in the early hours of Thursday morning, amidst an unprecedented sell-off in the crypto markets, Ether, which had been trading at around $200 USD, was sliced in half over the span of a few hours. This sharp drop in price caused a large number of Maker vaults to suddenly go into default, making them available for liquidation. When things are normal, a vault liquidation results in an auction of the ETH collateral in that vault. Participants, called keepers, compete by bidding in this auction. The winning bid, which is paid in DAI, is exchanged for a percentage of the ETH in the vault in order to bring it back to a healthy collateral level. That DAI is then burned, the debt erased, and whatever ETH is left is returned to the vault's owner. However, during a black swan event, like what transpired last Thursday, the following scenario played out. The sharp drop in ETH price caused many vaults to become available for liquidation at the same time. And around this time, the Ethereum network became congested, leading to a sharp rise in gas price. Both the rise in gas price and fear of a continued downward price trajectory of ETH made it risky and/or difficult for regular keepers to participate in these liquidation auctions. This lack of competition led to a scenario in which a tiny number of keepers were able to liquidate and win zero DAI auctions without any opposition. Stated differently, vaults containing Ether collateral were liquidated with zero DAI coming back into the system, resulting in a net loss for Maker. These events left the Maker protocol $4 million underwater. And with this new level of under-collateralization, it is now decision time for the Maker community to determine how they plan to rebuild.